50 past the hour, former President Trump has made an issue of what he calls fighting the deep state, slamming some of his former national security officials even. Here's some of what he had to say just yesterday.
I just saw General Kellogg, wherever he may be backstage. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Look at that general. He's a real general, not like Milley. Not like Milley. Not like Kelly, low. He's a low IQ guy. But this is a real general. He's great.
Earlier this month, hundreds of Trump's former national security officials, including UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, signed a letter endorsing him, but hundreds and hundreds of other current and former national security officials, including former secretaries of state, secretaries of defense, signed a letter in support of Vice President Harris. Emmy Award-winning actor Mandy Patinkin, who played the CIA director in the TV series Homeland, and his son Gideon, interviewed some of those national security officials for a series of videos he's been posting online.
For 8 years, I played the director of the CIA on this show called Homeland. I was the fake version of these real people. Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. These folks know what they're talking about. They have worked under several administrations. Many have supported and even worked for Republican presidents in the past. And they feel the urgency to get Kamala Harris elected because she is abundantly qualified and because Trump would be a true disaster.
Thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with Mandy Patinkin. Mandy, thank you for being with us this morning. What made you decide to speak with some of these national security officials?
We went to the DNC with my son Gideon, hoping to collect, material to put on our social media sites. And a fellow stopped us in the hall, a young man. He was CIA, he was undercover, but he had some elderly gentlemen with him. And he said, we're trying to get attention to these fellows from the National Security Leaders for America who are coming out to say, out of their comfort zone, to say how important it was that people realize what a threat he was to national security for our country and the world at large. We went into a studio. We taped these people. Our mouths just dropped open at what they had to say. And then my son Gideon went into gear and found their point person. They're an organization of over 900 strong, I believe now is the number. We went down to Pennsylvania, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia. We met over 15 of them in their homes over 4 days, driving here and there. My back went out, but it was worth it for America's democracy and the security of our country. And they were just extraordinary, moving beyond words, many of them in tears. They couldn't sit down. That many of them were Republicans who spent their whole lives never speaking out against the commander-in-chief, whether he was in power or out of power. But they feel that this is a crisis moment, an existential moment for the security of the country. Many of the cohorts gave their lives for, and they can't sit still.
Yeah. And Mandy, you said that your jaw dropped a few times. What were the biggest surprises that you heard?
That their emotionality, their passion and their emotionality, their patriotism, their love of this country, their concern for their fellow Republicans, and many of them are still Republicans, but they feel that they cannot, in good conscience, take a chance of putting Trump in the White House for 4 more years. They were in the position of seeing him in the White House before and what they did. I personally am very close friends with one of the highest people in national security of the country. And I said to him when we were shooting Homeland in 2016, you were, sort of okay with it now, and then things unfolded. And I said, how are you now? How do you feel now that he's in office? He said, now I'm really worried. I said, why is that? He said, because I've been with many of these president-elects and people running for president, and there's a big change that happens once they're in that chair in that White House, and I haven't seen that change, and that terrifies me.
Mandy, I know you're part of a group called Heroes for Harris. What's that all about?
I really don't know. It's just a bunch of guys who were I was in The Princess Bride, so we played, like superhero type characters. And they all got together. We've looked for every excuse possible to gather people in different arenas to raise money, raise funds, raise awareness. That was just one of the things. The Grateful Dead was another. There were several of them that we've all jumped on the bandwagon for. This is absolutely the most crucial moment that I've ever seen in the political life of my country for all of us. I want to just say, particularly to young people, I have it here. I believe the 50% of young people voted in 2020. There was 11% increase from 2016. We need to get that higher. Young people can make the difference. All kinds of people from every area of life, but young people, no excuse. Register, get out to vote. Everyone knows somebody young. Make sure they all vote. It really is crucial, and it'll turn the nickel 100%.
Mandy Patinkin, thank you so very much. And I just want to once again underline, I'm such an admirer of your art and your aesthetic. I very much appreciate your time. I thank you for being with us, Mandy. And
thank you, and thank you all, and thank everyone listening for all that you've listened to during this election. Now is the crucial moment. Now, vote.